In these late, and certainly last years, like a man drowning, snapshots of my life are flashing by. It was extraordinary because life started out so unpromising. But once I shook off the chains of the past and found my own track, it all became marvelous. So it began badly. The infant, helpless before a tyrant of a father, and a child mother burdened with too many babies to protect him. Then the boy wore his victimhood into the world around him, and was beaten up daily for being a sissy and a Jew, convinced that his big Jewish nose gave him away. He played cello with his sisters in the family trio, and lugged his cello to school for years, where he was desperate to be liked. Completely puzzled by business courses at college, I escaped by enlisting in the Air Force. The war was on, and my parents couldn't object to my fighting Hitler, so they signed for me. My 3 years in the military were a new life. Being with the guys, they even liked me. It was all okay. When I became a navigator in heavy bombers and was stationed on an air base in England, I didn't mind flying into combat. I thought it was exciting, even glamorous. Even ditching in the North Sea didn't faze me. All in all, it was a good thing to do with my life, and the military was a good introduction to the gay scene. But being in the war is not good preparation for civilian life. So they were difficult years to get through. I went back to college for a while, dropped out, spent a year in Europe, came home to the dark years of the McCarthyite 50s. All I knew was that I had to be a poet. But I'd never had to support myself before, with first my family, then the army taking care of me. Even at 28, everything was difficult. Leaving home, getting a job and keeping it, finding an apartment, and even worse, my analyst tried to make me straight, crippling me even more. Casting about for a solution to my disorientation of the world, I joined an acting class, which turned out to be a good therapy for the misguided psychotherapy. And for several years, I led the actor's life. But after meeting my friend Neil, everything got better. First book published, great reviews, and soon I was traveling the country giving readings. I didn't make much money, but the bohemian life was cheap. Writing my poems and getting attention for it was the best medicine in the world. There was a rocky stretch when Neil and I split for a couple of years, and I went to Afghanistan, the furthest place I could imagine on earth, to nurse my misery. But after he lost his sight, we got together again. Then we wrote novels and screenplays together, which helped my poetry tremendously. Also, we've lived in lots of different countries. Travel is one of the great teachers. I don't even mind getting old. Maybe being Jewish fits old age best, even if the consolations are pitifully few. Beauty gone and wisdom overrated. But for someone who's always been good-looking, being allowed to be ugly is a liberation. Where so many of my old poet friends feel passed over, I'm enjoying a lot of attention, which mitigates the neglect and dismissal by the young and the successful. I'm still amazed I'm a poet, that I wrote those amazing poems, and still sometimes writing them. The best of it, though, is living with your mate. I'm one of the lucky ones there, for miraculously he has survived, still a puppy in his old age. And what luck, landing in such a comfortable, affordable place to live, in a world where poverty and misery is the rule. So, summing up, after years of misery, craziness really, life's gotten better and better. With a lot of help, of course. Analysts, my Alexander teacher, primal therapy, and especially from poetry, which is one of the healing arts. But above all from you, my darling. Until now, I swear, and may the gods not strike me dead for saying it, I'm the luckiest man in the world.